Good evening and welcome to Match of the Day.
6 games with a fractured elbow. He's wearing a moulded plastic splint to protect the area of the injury, and that had to be approved before the kick-off by the referee. Williams replaces Michael Thomas in the centre of the Arsenal midfield. Thomas drops to substitute, where he's joined on the bench by Charlie Nicholas, who has himself recovered from a sprained ankle. Watford keep the side that played in the second half against Everton on Match of the Day Live last Sunday. Gary Porter still playing at number 10 for the injured Kenny Jackett. But lots of attention focused this week on number 11, John Barnes, who has been offered the prospect of playing for Liverpool next season, but who many Arsenal fans would like to see here at Highbury when he comes to the end of his Watford contract. Brian Stevens of Stonehouse in Gloucestershire, something of a controversial choice as referee for this cup tie, because when the teams met here in the league earlier this season, he sent off the Watford goalkeeper Tony Coton on the advice of a linesman following a penalty incident, and Watford asked the FA to think again about this choice, but Brian Stevens is again in the middle. A pleasant afternoon at Highbury as Arsenal kick off at the start of this all-Southern sixth-round tie. John McClelland there for Watford, and then Gibbs out to Bardsley. Tony Adams with Mark Falco. Richardson, Bardsley. And now Gibbs. Header by Richardson. Mistake by Adams, but he made up for it beautifully. Rocastle. Quinn. Groves. Immediate recovery by Tony Adams. Here's Barnes. Forward by Porter. Barnes. Barnes just getting in ahead of Viv Anderson there, who slipped. Porter. Barnes. And he's beaten Anderson. Blissett. Well, that was a perfect piece of wing play by John Barnes. Nobody can say there's a better sight in football than a winger going cleanly outside his fullback, as Barnes did there by Anderson. But Luther Blissett couldn't make the most of the opportunity. Sims and Quinn together again, forward by Adams. Rostron with Groves, Hayes trying to sneak in, and McClelland away. Oh, Allinson! John McClelland in a terrible mix-up with Tony Coton, and Ian Allinson took advantage. Arsenal are in the lead in the 12th minute, and Allinson didn't hang about. John McClelland appeared to be favourite, but he didn't seem to want the ball to go back to the keeper, and as he hesitated, Allinson smacked it into the net to put Arsenal ahead. Only his second goal of the season. Allinson's other goal was the one that turned the Littlewoods Cup semi-final at Tottenham. I wonder how important this one will prove. Good turn by David Bardsley. Blissett, good goal. Simple, but so well executed. Watford have equalised. And need we say it again, good orthodox wing play. David Bardsley, whose thrusts worried Everton last Sunday, goes down the right, crosses to the near post. Luther Blissett applies the finish to make it 1-1. Well, Blissett's in quite a run of scoring form at the moment. FA Cup goals against Chelsea, Walsall and now Arsenal, as well as the header against Everton. Quinn. Little touch on Barnes. O'Leary is the defender. And Bardsley's coming in from the far side, and there's Falco. Arsenal were, again, somewhat slack in their marking. Here's Hayes, on to Quinn. Now Quinn forcing the corner. David O'Leary going up to the near post now. He got a flick on, and it was scrambled from almost on the line. There's no lack of incident here. Free kick to Arsenal. O'Leary to take it. And there goes Quinn. It was Sims who jumped with him. Quinn thought there was some climbing there. But a good ball by Gibbs to Richardson. Porter. Gibbs again. Lost out to Kenny Sansom. Quinn making the run. There's a nice ebb and flow about this cup tie. This has been quite a taxing week for George Graham. That's the telephone that communicates him with the dugout. So the referee ends the first half, which was an open, entertaining one from a spectator's point of view. Luther Blissett put Watford level after 23 minutes, and somebody protesting at half-time to referee Brian Stevens, and Viv Anderson appears to have been spoken to as he goes off. And the temperature rising a little in the last few minutes before half-time, which arrives with the score here 1 each. So the familiar Highbury scene, as two clubs have only met First Division opposition once between them in the FA Cup this season before today. Prepare to start for the second half. Arsenal have beaten Reading, Plymouth and Barnsley to get this far. Watford's victims were Maidstone, Chelsea and Walsall. And there's the flag up for a foul by Blissett on Adams. There's Mark Falco. Here's Groves. Williams. Anderson has gone forward with Barnes marking him. It's Helen underneath it. O'Leary, Hayes. Now Richardson. He's got support on both wings. Bardsley. And he's gone around Sansom. Barnes has come in. Oh, a fine goal by John Barnes. That's a beauty. And Watford are in front. And the two wingers combine again. And what about this for wide play? England fullbacks they may be, Anderson and Sansom, but Bardsley and Barnes are taking them on this afternoon. Bardsley skipped Sansom. The cross was met by Barnes' header. And in the roof of the net, Watford are in front. Bardsley's cross. And Anderson concedes the corner. Away by Groves. '52nd minute, and Arsenal at the end of this demanding week. Charlie Nicholas is preparing perhaps to come on, find themselves on the wrong end of the scoreline again for the moment. Here's Groves. That's a probing run by Perry Groves. He's got Allinson here. And now Sansom. Hayes up with the keeper. And again, David Bardsley. This is getting very tricky for Arsenal. There are 3 against 3. Kenny Sansom out of position, and the cross will be picked up by Falco, and he's got 2 unmarked. Barnes. An offside, not against Bardsley. I think it was Blissett in the middle. But Bardsley is finding a lot of room. Everton found him a handful in the second half last week. Arsenal have found him difficult to contain throughout the match so far this week. The Highbury faithful about to welcome Charlie Nicholas and Michael Thomas, it would appear. The players going off are Ian Allinson and Martin Hayes. So a double change, continental style by George Graham. Will it be sufficient? Thomas number 14, Nicholas number 12, to push Arsenal back into contention in this cup tie. Falco now, wide to Bardsley. This is where Watford have capitalised. He's gone past Thomas. Oh, he's prepared to take anybody on today. But the pass only found O'Leary. Well, it's been a tiring week for Arsenal. And Steve Williams playing his first game in 7. Just wonder whether the fresh pairs of legs that George Graham has brought on are going to make a difference. It's obviously what he's gambling on. Charlie Nicholas yet to get a touch, really. Groves. John McClellan's was the challenge. Arsenal appeal for a penalty, not given. And Blissett chases the long kick. And still Blissett. And now there's appeals at the other end. And referee Brian Stevens again says no. And I have to say that I think he was right on both occasions. Well, there are plenty of points of discussion here. Halfway through the second half, what matters is it's Arsenal 1, Watford 2. Tony Adams for Arsenal. A good cup tie. Just under 10 minutes to go, and Anderson's got to be very careful. He's been booked for dissent, and he's arguing again. Understandable frustration building up among the Arsenal players. This could be their third defeat in a week. And the Watford supporters sense victory. Rostrom with the kick. Bardsley. Charlie Nicholas. And Blissett's off, testing the central defenders. Foul this time, though. He just tapped the ankles of Adams, Luca Blissett. Here's Quinn. Williams still prompting. This is Nicholas. Gibbs at his back. Got a foot in. Here's Groves. Worked it back to Rocastle. And Barnes again defending. Sims is staying close to Niall Quinn. There is Quinn. Anderson, Thomas. Sansom. And Arsenal have forced a corner in this long assault on the Watford goal. Nicholas goes across for a short one. Gets it back to Sansom. Quinn went down under challenge from Sims, nothing given. Nicholas! It won't go in for Arsenal. And one of the reasons is this fellow. In fact, he's a very big reason. It's been nearly all Arsenal since Watford went 2-1 up. Can they get the equaliser yet? On by Nicholas, back by Richardson. Porter, with Falco to his left. Barnes. Falco in space here, he's onside. Now a chance for Watford. Two in the middle waiting. Oh, Blissett, surely! In many ways, as Falco holds his head, Blissett did the right thing. He tried to direct the header back to where the goalkeeper was coming from, but he just got too much height on it. Well, Graham Taylor and his team less than 5 minutes away from a semi-final. David O'Leary. Free kick given against Gary Porter for the foul on Perry Groves. Steve Williams is arguing again with the referee. But Arsenal's best course of action now will be to get on with things, really. 3 minutes. Quinn with Sims. Oh, the flag's up on the far side. The referee hasn't seen it. Blissett's away for Watford. Controversy here looming. He's onside, is Blissett, and Lukic is saved, and Blissett again, a goal! But Arsenal must go back to the referee because the linesman on the far side was flagging in the previous attack. He wasn't seen, the referee played on, and Blissett scored at the other end, but he's right to consult his linesman because there was a flag. Whether it was for a penalty, I'm not sure, because the linesman raised the flag, the referee didn't look across, so we never saw it go across his chest. But did he see a foul or not at the other end in the previous attack? Because his flag was certainly up. Now, what does Brian Stevens do here? Involved in controversy in the Arsenal-Watford fixture for the second time running this season, and he has awarded a goal to Watford, scored by Luther Blissett, who squeezed his shot past the man on the line to make it 3-1 and confirm that Watford are in the semi-final, but George Graham has made an emphatic protest from the bench, and without taking anything away from Watford, I have to see the reason why. Would the linesman have put a flag across his chest if the referee had seen the initial signal? Was it for something else? I can't say that from here. What I do know is there was a flag, and it went back down again, and at the other end, Watford scored. So, Graham Taylor, who was disappointed with the officials here when his team lost in the league, had his goalkeeper sent off. Sometimes in football, in a most peculiar way, the wheel turns full circle, and it has done for Watford at Highbury this season. About that, there is no doubt at all. Sansom. Sims is up there again. Sansom once more. Watford are through to the semi-final of the FA Cup. The managers shake hands. But for Graham Crafter from Maidstone, the linesman with the white hair, and referee Brian Stevens, there will need to have to be a fairly hasty exit, because things are possibly being thrown there after a controversial incident. Graham Taylor's saying, get off the pitch, we don't want to incite any more fan reaction. Steve Williams arguing with the Watford manager. He seems to have lost his head a little bit. There's trouble down there by the tunnel. Terry Groves is trying to separate them. Arsenal are angry. It's the end of a bad week for them. Watford, who, to be fair, were 2-1 up anyway, can't be blamed for what happened. They don't control the officials. And in any event, felt hard done by in the same way earlier this season here. But the upshot of it all is that Watford have won by 3-1, 2 from Blissett and 1 from Barnes. The most influential player, possibly Bardsley on the right wing, with the first 2 goals made by him. But everybody will talk about the incident 2 minutes from the end, when a linesman's flag went up with the ball in the Watford penalty area. It was apparently not seen by the referee, and Watford made the game safe at the other end. A final score, but with plenty of talking to do afterwards, I'm sure, of Arsenal 1, Watford 3.
What a fantastic cup tie atmosphere at Hillsborough, and at a time when visiting supporters aren't welcome everywhere, it's fascinating that Sheffield Wednesday have had to surrender the whole of the Leppings Lane end of their ground to accommodate 15,000 Coventry fans, more than their average home gate, who've added £60,000 to today's receipts for the privilege of seeing their team attempting to reach the FA Cup semi-finals for the first time in their history. And it would certainly be less of an occasion without their colourful presence. Well, Sheffield Wednesday are defending that extraordinary record of being unbeaten at home in an FA Cup tie for 23 matches, a record stretching back to 1973. And their only problem of team selection has been who to leave out. In the end, 18-year-old Carl Bradshaw is preferred at number 10. He's the man who's scored in each round of the Cup so far, and David Hurst is named as one of the 2 subs. Coventry, who won last week's dress rehearsal between these teams 1-0, but they had their influential midfield player Dean Emerson injured in that match, and he misses today's cup tie. Fortunately, though, number 7, Dave Bennett, is able to start only his 2nd game in 2 months, and both Keith Houchin and Nick Pickering have recovered from their injuries. And one unusual statistic, the last time Coventry played here, Steve Igricevic scored with a massive clearance against his opposite goalkeeper, Martin Hodge. Alan Gunn, in charge of his first match at Hillsborough, starts this quarter-final with Coventry in all yellow attacking the goal to the right. And there's definitely a feeling about Coventry this season that this could be the occasion when they reach their first major final. Never in 103 years have they won a major trophy. Coventry yet to concede a goal in this competition. That's Wednesday's ball. Sterling takes it quickly. There's plenty of players forward here for Wednesday. Sterling can knock it into the far post. Brizovic able to dominate his area. Wasn't beaten in the third, the fourth or the fifth round ties. And every time he kicks it, you can be certain that Martin Hodge will be on his toes. Shelton to Bradshaw. Needs 2 touches. Megson first time for Chapman. He's got Kilcline in front of him. Good interception by Phillips. Forward by Peake to Regis, who's on his own. Coventry are getting players forward now. Here's Brian Burrows. Can he keep it in? No, he couldn't. What a pity. Worthington. Again, that's Wednesday's ball. Snowden, elder brother of Ian, who now plays at Everton. Again, Wednesday's ball. So they've progressed down this near touchline with 3 throw-ins. Marwood. Worthington. Cleared by Downs, only to Snowden. Marwood. Downs is certainly a busy defender. Now Peake. Bennett for Regis to chase. Madden in pursuit for Pickering. Oh, tidy defending by Mel Sterland, who'd sprinted back half the length of the field. Offside. And 28, Cyril Regis, the man who started in non-league football. Coventry's top scorer this season with 11. Megson flicks it on. Kilcline's clearance. The difference in FA Cup tradition between these two sides really is remarkable. Wednesday, who reached the Wembley final 5 times, looking to get to their 16th semi-final. Coventry, of course, who've never got past this quarter-final stage. Indeed, they've only ever played 1 cup semi-final, and that was in the Football League Cup back in 1981, when they lost. Oh, Regis! Madden and Regis together, and that's the first time that Coventry have threatened. A good long ball looking for Regis at the far post, but they couldn't quite get it over the attention of Laurie Madden. Phillips with the corner. Knocked down by Kilcline. Pickering off his toe. Now the linesman's flagging on the far side, but the referee's wave play on. Marwood. Worthington. Still kept his feet. So Laurie Madden with the first important stop for Wednesday. They might have to do a few more of those. Worthington. Sterling. Well, that's very speculative from long range against a goalkeeper who's 6'3". Regis. Worthington will play it back to Hodge. Hodge plays the ball out of his own penalty area. Give himself an extra 10 or 15 yards. Megson. Couldn't beat McGrath. Now Pickering. Houchin. There's very little on for him here. As always, Greg Downs is available. Regis. Bennett steps over the attentions of Madden. Regis! Now, Cyril Regis with just Hodge to beat, and he has! Cyril Regis, his 12th goal of the season, and Coventry have done what they've threatened already in this match, and that's breaking from the halfway line with pace. A neat little link-up between Regis and Bennett, who stepped over the attentions of Madden, the ball into the path of Regis, who was able to run forward with a clear sight of goal and beat Hodge. So Coventry with their noses in front, and now beginning to sense their first FA Cup semi-final. Little David Bennett, he's been suffering from a thigh strain and has only played one previous game in the last 2 months. He hasn't been involved too much in this match in the first 17 minutes, but what a telling ball that was to Regis. 15,000 of them have come from Coventry, and now they've got something to cheer. This is Regis. Oh, nicely taken, Regis. Houchen. Pickering. There's an air of confidence about Coventry. No offside. Lloyd McGrath. Wednesday looked for the offside and it didn't come. Oh, now they're in trouble. And finally it's Nigel Worthington who brings it out. And Wednesday are certainly rattled. Well, it really was astonishing that the Wednesday defence allowed Lloyd McGrath that much space in the belief that he was offside. Bennett can go forward, brought down by Snowden, and that'll be a free kick. Well, Peter Eustace in the middle there, the Sheffield Wednesday #2, was a player the last time this club got to a Wembley Cup final. Taken by Burrows, now he steps over it, Pickering. Oh! And the header was by Houchen, the man who got that critical goal against Manchester United. And I think he'll be disappointed that he didn't get that on target. Definitely Coventry's opportunity to make it 2. The linesman's flagged on the far side. Free kick to Wednesday. Peake's header. Marwood. Chapman. Sterland. Can't get the better of Coventry's left back, or has he kept it in play? He has, Sterland. Yes! Oh, great stop by Grizovic. From Gary Shelton. Sterland kept the ball in play. He cut it back to Gary Shelton, who must have thought he'd scored, but Grizovic went down to stop it on the line. Downs. Oh, he's trying to play it back to the keeper. Well, having looked impeccable for so long, Greg Downs, he's made 2 critical mistakes in the last few minutes, and that almost let Chapman in. And this first half now moving into injury time. As Wednesday come forward through Shelton. Coventry fans that are whistling. Marwood, no free kick, Pickering. And now the referee does blow the whistle. the end of a fascinating first 45 minutes, which really has posed some question marks for Sheffield Wednesday, because they've had the lion's share of possession and haven't really managed to threaten. And the only goal, well, that came from Cyril Regis after 17 minutes, a goal which may well have set Coventry on their way to their first ever FA Cup semi-final. And if a stranger came into Hillsborough at half-time and looked around and saw all the blue and white, well, he might be forgiven for thinking that this was Coventry's home ground. And as Wednesday start this second half, it's an interesting thought for Coventry that if they do get to the semi-finals, well, they may well find themselves playing that match here at Hillsborough. And the linesman on that far side has signalled an infringement. So Wednesday start the second half with a free kick, and wouldn't they dearly love to score right at the start of this second 45 minutes. They've pushed 6 players forward. Marwood signals. Igrizovic comes and takes it with one hand at the second attempt. Downs, Regis, beautifully taken on his chest, and now for Bennett. Oh, he's kept it in play, Bennett. Snowden committed himself. Bennett! Worthington's interception with Houchin behind. And David Bennett, well, he's been really influential in this match, hasn't he? He's the man who laid on the goal for Regis. And I think Snowden rather committed himself then, but the footwork of Bennett was good enough to keep it in play. If only he could have picked out Houchin. Houchin beaten by Smith. John Sillett, the Coventry chief coach, closest to the camera, earnestly on his chewing gum. Bradshaw. Megson looking for Shelton. And the Wednesday crowd behind the goal appealing for hands against Peake. Shelton running back to the referee. And there was no expression on the face of Trevor Peake. And at this point, with Wednesday unable to break the deadlock, Howard Wilkinson has decided to make a substitution, sending on both his substitutes, in fact, David Hurst and Chris Morris. And Coventry making a substitution too, sending on young Steve Sedgley, their 18-year-old player. Howard Wilkinson now down in the dugout. That's him just being masked. Regis is offside, it won't count. And it really is almost impossible for the players to hear the referee's whistle. And I think there's also a little bit of Coventry keeping possession whenever they have it, to waste as much time as possible. Hodge, again, a long way out of his goal. Flicked on. Shelton hunting and Megson! And Coventry's concentration has finally lapsed, and Megson has put Wednesday back into this match. Thumbs up from Gary Megson, his 6th goal of the season. The man whose father captained Wednesday in the FA Cup final of 1966 when they lost to Everton 3-2, has given Wednesday a glimmer of hope. It's 1-1. And that came about as a result of a little flick on from Lee Chapman. Shelton was hunting, but it fell to Megson, who drilled it past Igrizovic. And that goal in the 67th minute has lit a furnace under this quarter-final, which was already boiling up. Bennett. Wednesday's ball. Shelton. Burrows puts it behind for the corner. And all the pressure now is from Wednesday. Marwood. Flicked on. Houchen. And that's another corner. Regis again defending at the near post. Marwood. Snowden behind him. Finds space for the cross. Away by Peake. Again Regis in the penalty area. Out to Phillips, who steps over the tackle of Shelton. Here's David Phillips. Now Coventry are streaming forward. It's 4-on-4. Houchen. And Megson, the goal scorer, back to take it off his toe. Think, says Howard Wilkinson, with 15 minutes left. Nicely done. And Marwood turns it behind for the throw. Bennett waits for it to drop. And Coventry get possession. Bennett. Regis lets it run under his feet to Houchen. Houchen, has he made himself space? Oh, he came off the defender! It's an own goal! Houchen will take the credit. Hodge looks in dismay, but it's Smith. Well, the question will always remain, would Hodge have saved it? But the shot from Houchen took a deflection off Mark Smith and flew past Martin Hodge, and Coventry are back in front. Dismay for Mark Smith after 78 minutes of this quarter-final. A deflected own goal, and Coventry back in front 2-1. Well, Keith Houchen knows all about winning cup ties, doesn't he? The penalty that beat Arsenal when he played for York in the 4th round 2 seasons ago. The goal that beat Manchester United in the 4th round in this year's competition. And he'll certainly take the credit for that one. Bennett. Worthington. Oh, it's fallen in the path of Houchen. It's number 3. It's all over now. And Houchen salutes the Coventry supporters. A lucky break. Desperate situation for Wednesday. But that has wrapped it up now. Houchen, a gift of a goal. His second of the match. It's Coventry 3, Wednesday 1. And for the first time, Coventry are looking at an FA Cup semi-final place. And these Coventry fans, believe me, are not only celebrating what looks like a great victory here, they're also celebrating a new Coventry City side. A team that's been in the First Division for 20 consecutive seasons. That's John Sillett smiling, just went out of the picture as he sat back. And who can deny that Coventry deserved this moment of glory, having won away at Old Trafford, beating Manchester United, and now on the point of beating Sheffield Wednesday at Hillsborough. Megson gives it Shelton back, and it flashes past the post. Well, a little moment to make the Coventry hearts murmur with 5 minutes left. Shelton, who's stretched and pushed that just wide of the post. What terrific support. 15,000 fans, that's more than the average home gate at Highfield Road this season. In fact, they said they could have sold more tickets if they'd had them, Coventry. Total receipts here of about £150,000, and some £60,000 of that has come from Coventry's travelling supporters. And who says that visiting fans aren't welcome at away matches? Oh, Megson! Oh, so close! But even if he'd scored, surely it would only have been academic, because we played more than a minute of injury time as Megson holds his head. Referee Gunn has looked at his watch. The players have looked at him, but still we continue. Sedgley puts it into the crowd. Wednesday with the throw. That's gone behind for the corner. And we're now into the 2nd minute of injury time. Grizovic has come a long way. Claude had it, missed. Marwood put it across the face of goal, and that's the last act of this quarter-final. It's Sheffield Wednesday 1, Coventry 3, and Coventry have made their own little bit of history. In 103 years of the Football League, they're into the FA Cup semi-finals for the very first time. Now, who do you find as the Coventry hero? Well, I think all of them have been heroes today. Regis, who got the first goal after 17 minutes. But Keith Houchin, the cup winner of the 4th round, cup winner again in this quarter-final with the 2 second goals. Both of them, though, goals that the Sheffield Wednesday defence will be disappointed to have conceded. John Sillett there, embracing the players. And they'll be dancing all the way back down the motorways to Coventry tonight. The final score then at Hillsborough, Wednesday 1, Coventry 3.